kind of a rainy night here in Michigan. It's how warm and cold is it? It's just a little above 50 degrees. It's not about 9 o'clock at night here on a Saturday night. Wild night on Saturday night, and so does Michigan, eh? Anyway, um, I was working on my fishing poles the other day, getting ready for the salmon to come up the St. Joe River. Anyway, I was making a long pole to do it, so I wanted to put some different eyes on it, and I was had almost a hard time remembering how my dad taught me to put these eyes on. But then after I started to do it, it kind of came back to me. So I made a short video of it after I got one or two eyes on, and I'm going to include it with this video so that you guys can know how I do it or how he did it. It's not very complicated. Just use some string. I've used everything. I used to use that old black casting line, but I don't have any of that anymore. So I use some, I don't know, some strong string basically. And when I get done, I usually coat it with some kind of fingernail polish, something my wife didn't want. There's something laying around. So I hope you enjoy this video. I think you can find other uses for this. I don't know if this is the way everybody does it, or maybe it's just this. Of course, that's the only time I've ever seen it done, was when he would do it making his ice fishing poles. And I'm doing it on a spinning rod. I wanted to use my spinning reel. I pretty much given up on casting rods, reels. So I get so many backlashes. It's so windy around here, and I'm so uncoordinated that I'd rather use a spinning rod. So anyway, I was making this longer pole and putting eyes on it, bigger eyes, so that the line wouldn't drag on that first eye, because they usually put smaller eyes on some of these poles you're going to use for their casting reel. And since a spinning reel has a much wider sweep when it's casting out and reeling in. So that's what I'm doing. I just thought maybe you might enjoy this video. It's only like 5 minutes long, but now I'm talking to you for 2.5 minutes. So anyway, the fish haven't been biting around here very well. I did catch enough bluegills today to eat. I haven't been fishing much, just messing around. I think I'm going to go camping in the next couple of days. There's a what do you call it? A U.S. government federal camp. Oh God, I can't even think of the words. A national park in Ohio. How hard is that? Anyway, now I lost track of what I'm saying. Anyway, let's go back to the video one more time. I got this taped on here with just a piece of tape. Like you tape up your fingers or something. Okay. I put a little piece of tape right here, just loose. That's just to hold this out of my way. I'm going to take out 6 feet of this, or a little bit over my head. If you get too much, that's no problem. Okay. Now, I'm going to make a loop. Remember that? And I'm going to put it down on the end where that tape is. I'm just going to stick this underneath that tape to hold it in out of my way. Okay, got it? Now, this end. See this end? This end is one I'm going to be pulling on, so I don't want it to get tangled up in the other. So I'll wet it with some spit or something. I'll just wrap it on the other end so it stays out of my way. Stay there. Now, the end I'm going to do the wrapping with. Find the end of it. What I like to do is go behind, if there is a behind. Everything has a behind. Go behind it. Just once. Get it snug. Doesn't have to be super tight, just snug. And I just hold the pole and start wrapping it. If you get it too tight, you're going to have trouble getting the string back underneath it. So, you know, act like you're bandaging up someone. You ever put bandage on yourself and when you get done it's so tight you can't even move? Well, that's what happens with this too. So it doesn't have to be super tight. Remember, this is all going to be soaked with fingernail polish. It's going to be glued together almost. So just kind of get it as best you want it, as good as you want it. Okay, I'm not too worried about the look of it. I'm more worried about the functionality. I go past the end of the eye, the little foot of the eye, a little ways. If you want to be a perfectionist, you can measure it and mark it with a B. Put it in the oven for baby and me. Oh no, that's another world. Okay, now we got this hanging down. It's all wrapped. This is my loose end I'm going to pull on. Now I'm going to take this tape off of this loop. Get rid of that. Then open the loop with your hand. Get it nice and even. Reach through and pull the end of that loose. Okay? And what I do, I stick it in my mouth. Now, when I pull on this in, it's going to try to knot up. So just every once in a while, try to keep it as even as possible. I didn't want us to do this, but I don't want it to look too easy. Ever watch those videos on TV and everything goes right, and then you try it and everything goes wrong? Okay, so I'm just kind of guiding it, trying to get it to stay somewhat neat. Now, see, it's going underneath there. If I pull it, I'm going to try to watch that knot and see it goes underneath. There it goes. It's underneath. It's underneath. So now, I'll trim it off. If you had better trimmers, that'd be cool too, but I don't. I'm just using these old throwaway scissors. And trim off that end. Now your eye is somewhat stable. Now I'm just going to paint fingernail polish on it. Boom, be done. So. Cat versus rabbit. What's going to happen?